Hi friends, today's pick a card reading is all about answering the question, will you get this job? Maybe you're waiting to hear back on a job application, or maybe you're wondering if this is your breakthrough. Today we're going to do a quick energy check-in to see if you'll get this job, what's helping you, what's blocking you, and what the outcome looks like. Remember, you always have free will and nothing is ever set in stone. You have the power to change anything at any time, and we are just here to get some insights and some more info. If you're new to pick a card readings, stick around. If you're used to this, go ahead and skip to your piles. But if you're new, here's how it works. The first thing that you're going to do here is you are going to pick the pile or the crystal that you're the most intuitively drawn to. We have pile 1 with Carnelian, pile 2 with Chrysocolla, pile 3 with Labradorite, pile 4 with blue Apatite. When you're ready, go to the description of this video, find the timestamp that is linked to your pile, and then you can skip ahead to your reading. I'll see you on the inside. Hi pile 1, hey friends, welcome to your reading. Let's talk about your current energy around this job. We'll talk about what you're feeling, what's happening behind the scenes, and how aligned this opportunity really is. We have the 6 of Swords in reverse here, and I wonder if some of you here are transitioning out of something stressful. Maybe it's a job, a work environment, or maybe you've gone through some sort of period of uncertainty. Maybe some of you here are hoping that this new opportunity becomes your new safe shore, if you know what I mean. Like, the energy shows that maybe there's some mental exhaustion here, but also this determination to move forward towards something better. Maybe some of you here applied to this job because your current job is draining and you're desperate for something calmer or healthier. Or maybe you've recently healed from burnout and you want a role that doesn't constantly overwhelm you. Maybe some of you here feel like you've outgrown where you are and you see this job as your new level. We also have the Goat and Willow, overcoming obstacles. So again, I feel like you've been through a lot lately, pile 1. Maybe this is on an emotional level or financial level, even mentally, but just know that this is your reminder that you are resilient. There is determination in your energy that's really helping you to push through any sort of setbacks that have come your way. So maybe this job feels like a part of your rebuilding phase. I wonder if some of you had job rejections recently, but you still showed up with another application. Or maybe you're working through low confidence or self-doubt, but you're continuing anyway. Maybe some of you here had to juggle home and kids and responsibilities or mental health, yet you're still moving forward towards stability. Next, let's talk about what's working in your favor. We'll talk about skills, timing, impressions, or any sort of hidden boosts that are helping your chances here. We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse here. And so I feel like the opportunity is real, but maybe it's either delayed or not fully formed yet, or maybe some of you here are feeling like it's not fully accessible yet. However, this could also mean that the door is there, but just not wide open yet. So what's helping you here is that you're aligned with growth and money and improvement and a desire for stability. And even in reverse, the Ace of Pentacles shows potential and value in you, pile 1. Maybe you applied right as this company was reworking the job position or restructuring it, and maybe your timing puts you in the early pool. Or maybe you didn't meet every requirement in the job listing, but they see that you're strong in foundational skills that they want. Or maybe some of you here have planted seeds like past experience or networking or certifications that are now quietly working in your favor. We also have Domicile Moon Abundance. So pile 1, your energy is fertile. You are attracting opportunities even if they're slow moving. I think that there's just something about your presence or your experience or your emotional intelligence that feels comforting and dependable. Maybe you presented yourself in a warm, relatable, grounded way that they remember. Or maybe your resume shows consistency and reliability, which makes you look like a stable hire. Or maybe you intuitively know how to connect with people, which left a good impression if you interviewed with them already. Let's talk about what's delaying or blocking the process. Maybe this is internal doubts or external obstacles that the hiring team is working through. Let's find out. We have the King of Pentacles here. And so I am getting the feeling that like either a person or a process is slowing this down. So maybe this shows up as like a boss or an owner or a higher up who hasn't signed off yet. Like maybe the hiring team is like ready to make a move and that paperwork is sitting on that higher up's desk and they just haven't gotten to it yet. Or this could represent a hiring manager who is cautious. Maybe this is a job role that you've applied to that requires financial approval, or maybe the energy is stable here, but it's just taking some time. So for example, maybe the company is waiting for a budget approval before hiring, or maybe a senior manager needs to review all the candidates and they haven't done that yet. Or this could be like maybe they're comparing every applicant meticulously and they're not rushing with the process of choosing. We also have seahorse spirit, watch and wait. So I feel like the meaning here is that no action is really needed from you from like this point with this specific application. I think that the slowdown isn't personal, it's simply timing, like things are moving, but gently and slowly. So for example, maybe they're in interview round 2 or 3 and they're trying to be thorough before they choose, or maybe the team is busy or short-staffed or in like that holiday end of the year delay mode. I'm also wondering if this could mean that they haven't rejected you, but maybe they literally haven't moved forward with anyone yet. Next, let's talk about how the hiring team sees you. We'll talk about their impression, their concerns, excitement, and where you currently stand. We have the 9 of Swords in reverse here, and so maybe they see you as someone who has been through some tough times but is coming out stronger. I think that they see resilience in you, emotional awareness, and somebody who's leveling up. Maybe they see you as someone who's finally stabilizing or taking charge of their life. Like for example, maybe you came across as honest and grounded and someone who's worked hard to get to where you are. Or maybe they feel like you're reliable and not dramatic or chaotic or exhausting to work with. And I also feel like they sense like healing or growth energy around you, which reads as maturity, which is great. We also have the organizer, Saturn, and with this one it says everything has its rightful place. I think that your natural talents here, pile 1, are that you are patient, practical, truthful, committed, steadfast, orderly, reliable, considerate, consistent, disciplined, systematic, instinctual, careful, detailed, discerning, and rational. So I feel like they viewed you as somebody who is, again, structured, dependable, somebody who's capable of keeping things together. You feel like someone who follows through and stays organized and would help to bring order to the team. So maybe your resume showed solid systems or workflow, or maybe administrative strengths. Maybe you spoke clearly about how you manage tasks or deadlines or people. I also feel like they think you'd be easy to onboard because you're already very like self-disciplined. Next, let's talk about the likely outcome. We'll talk about what the energy is around you getting this job and on what timeline. So we have the Queen of Wands in reverse here, and this could represent like a delay or maybe like a temporary not yet, or maybe for some of you here, even like a mild no for now. And so this can represent like self-doubt or feeling undervalued, or a hiring team that may be interested but distracted or unsure. Or maybe it could be like a process that, you know, has lost a little bit of momentum and needs to pick up speed again. So the energy here, it's not a hard no, but it's not a fast yes either. So I hate giving out maybes, right? Because it's like, oh, well, what'd you come to this reading for, right? Like you came here for a straight answer, but we just get the energy around the situation. You have free will and a lot of control. Well, you have free will, so remember that. But, you know, this kind of energy is like, I don't know if they're going to choose like an internal candidate first, or maybe they like you, but they feel like somebody else has more confidence or more leadership energy, or maybe you get close, but the timing is off and they move slowly or they shift priorities. So yeah, it's kind of like that maybe energy. It's definitely not a hard yes and definitely not a hard no. We also have solar minimum, rest. And so I feel like this slows everything way down. Like the timeline is muted, it's quiet, it's inactive. Like we're not really getting a lot here, but this could represent, again, like a long waiting period or a pause in the process. Or maybe this is like the need for you to let this go and either allow this or something better to surface, right? Like I tend to use that phrase, this or something better, in my manifestation process, because sometimes we really want this one thing and sometimes we have no idea that there's something that much better just like right around the corner. And so when I'm working on manifesting something I want, I say, well, it's this or something better. Something that is always aligned for my highest and best good is coming my way. Timeline energy here, back to the timeline. Like you may hear back, but maybe you've got to wait a little bit, right? Maybe it's not soon. Or maybe this is the energy of being redirected to another job that you haven't seen yet. So I feel like this energy here overall, and remember, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but I feel like maybe this isn't like the breakthrough, but the breakthrough is coming. Like there's really excellent potential here. So like overall, I feel like you're moving out of stress and you're probably hoping that this job is your path forward. I think that you're resilient and you're showing up strongly and the opportunity is real. If you're experiencing any sort of delays and getting answers from them, just know that the delay is on their end. It's not on yours. Just know that you are a very ideal candidate, right? So they see you as somebody who is grounded, organized, and healing. Maybe you get the response in a slow way, or maybe the answer is delayed. Or again, for some of you here, maybe it's a soft no that leads you to something better and aligned. So I want you to remember here, pile 1, this isn't rejection, it's redirection. I also just want to get a little bit, like, I like to play with like probability. So if I do like a reading or divination on in one way, I like to get answers in a couple different other ways, and I like to see how many yeses and nos I get, because I don't really like to do yes/no readings. I think that when you ask like a closed question like that, it doesn't really leave extra room for more explanation or what's to come or other possibilities or the why. So I just like to explain all of that here, but I do want to get 2 other ways of getting like a yes or no answer. That way you can make the best educated decision from all the info that we get here. I have a friend who used to do it this way. Her name is Ashley. Oops, Jesus, I almost burnt my cards. Ashley Summer. And she is here on YouTube and on TikTok, and now she is no longer with us, unfortunately, but she used to do a method on here and answer yes/no questions by flipping through the deck. And if the sun came up first, it was a yes. And if the moon came up first, then it was a no. Get this job. Okay, so we have the moon. So we're getting another no here. So we also have some angel answers cards, and these cards are kind of like yes/no cards as well. So we'll pile 1, get this job. So we have a yes and reconsider. So, you know, okay, I think that there's like 2 different answers here. I think that for some of you, the answer is like no, there's something better, reconsider. But then there are a select some of you that like, I feel like there's like a loophole. Like maybe it wasn't like supposed to happen or gonna happen, or there wasn't the opportunity, or maybe the budget wasn't there and it suddenly happened. So I want to say, like, if we had like a pizza pie, 2/3 of you, I would say like a lot, probably the answer is no. And then like a small amount of you, it could be yes. Or reconsider what you're saying yes to could be another answer here. So thank you so much, friends. I hope that this was helpful. I am wishing you so much luck on your career journey. If you want more job application check-ins or career readings, remember to like, subscribe, and save this channel for when you need some clarity. And if you feel called, I've got my angel number guide, private readings, online shop, and podcast all linked for you below in the description of this video. I am deeply honored to be connected with each and every one of you, friends. Lots of love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. Bye. Love y'all. Hi, pile 2. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. Let's talk about your current energy around this job. Let's talk about what you're feeling, what's happening behind the scenes, and how aligned this opportunity really is. We have the 4 of Wands in reverse here, and I'm wondering if you are craving stability, pile 2. Maybe you're craving celebration and a sense of finally something is working out for me type of energy, but maybe you're not fully trusting the process yet. And so maybe you want this job to bring structure and peace, but something feels a little off or uncertain in your gut. It could also show that maybe you're not feeling supported where you currently are, whether this is at home or at work or in your environment. Like, for example, maybe you're feeling pressure from your living situation or your family dynamics, and you see this job as an anchor to help you get out of chaos. Or maybe you're worried that something will fall through because that's been the pattern, and maybe you feel like plans rarely go smoothly lately. Or maybe you applied hoping this job would help you to rebuild your life or regain routine or finally feel like you belong somewhere. We also have the otter and cattail. So I feel like you're trying your best to stay optimistic and flexible and lighthearted, even though things around you feel serious. Now, on a deeper level, maybe you want a workplace where you can be yourself and not carry everything alone. So behind the scenes, maybe somebody or something is supporting you more than you realize. Maybe this is a past experience or an old coworker or even your energy itself. Maybe this is a really good referral. For example, maybe you handled the application or the interview with an unexpectedly friendly energy, which helped you shine naturally. Or maybe you're reconnecting with your creative spark and this is making you more aligned with roles that value personality. Or maybe you secretly want a work environment where people actually get along and this job is partly aligned with that desire. Next, let's talk about what's working in your favor. We'll talk about any skills, timing, impressions, or hidden boosts that are helping your chances. We have Moonrise, and this one says cleansing. So I feel like you've recently let go of something that was draining you, whether this is like a belief or a job or a relationship or a habit. And I feel like that release actually cleared the way energetically for opportunities like this. So maybe you're coming across clearer or more grounded and more self-aware. For example, maybe you updated or simplified your resume or your interview answers and it made you sound more focused. Or maybe you stopped over-explaining yourself and now you appear more confident to hiring teams. Maybe some of you here are in the process of letting go of an old work identity or imposter syndrome and it helps you present yourself more cleanly. We also have the King of Swords in reverse here. I feel like your softer, more intuitive communication style is actually helping. You're not coming across as rigid or overly formal. I feel like the hiring team feels like you are relatable and human and humble, which is refreshing. So this could also talk about like maybe some of you here have stopped overthinking or micromanaging your application. Like maybe you may have spoken naturally instead of giving memorized robotic interview answers and they liked it. Or maybe for some of you here, your resume or your email tone feels real, not stiff or overly corporate, which sets you apart. Or maybe you didn't overshare or dominate the conversation and you kept it simple and they appreciated the clarity. Next, let's talk about what's delaying or blocking the process. This could be internal doubts or external obstacles that the hiring team is working through. Let's find out. We have the Four of Cups in reverse here. And with this, I feel like the hiring team is finally ready to consider new candidates after a period of being stuck or indecisive. Now I feel like they're coming out of a slump and maybe that momentum felt slow. But this card could also talk about someone on the team who is re-engaging after like burnout or internal conflict. So for example, maybe there's like a manager who had been checked out or overwhelmed and they finally have the mental space to evaluate applicants again. Or maybe they recently reopened the role after previously putting it on hold. Or maybe someone involved in the decision is shifting their mindset about what type of candidate they want. We also have Turtle Spirit, slow and steady wins the race. So I feel like the delays are about timing, not worth. This process is moving at a crawl because the team is being conservative or cautious or maybe understaffed. And so this is not a no, but I feel like the answer may not come as fast as you think. Like maybe the company moves at an old school pace, like they need multiple approvals or there's not a lot of sense of urgency, or maybe the person who's scheduling the interviews is swamped and responding slowly, or maybe they're waiting for a particular date or cycle like a budget period or an internal review or a staff return before moving forward. Next, I want to talk about how the hiring team sees you. Let's talk about their impression, their concerns, maybe excitement, and where you currently stand. We have the Five of Cups here. So maybe they sense that you've gone through disappointment or loss recently. Not in a dramatic way, but in a like life has humbled me type of way. Like maybe they pick up on your resilience and your seriousness and your emotional depth, and maybe they're even feeling like you're undervaluing yourself or you're holding back a bit. Like maybe your tone or your posture or your words showed that you've overcome something big and it made you seem really strong and not fragile. Or maybe you came across as sincere and thoughtful and grounded and not performative, which is extremely valuable. Or maybe they sensed that you're ready for something steady after a period of instability or transition. We also have the Communicator, Mercury, and it says words have power. So pile 2, you are naturally truthful, outspoken, flexible, clear, quick, relatable, friendly, intelligent, open-minded, intuitive, psychological, discriminating, informed, and articulate. So I feel like your communication style has definitely made an impression. I think that your honesty, your clarity, and the way that you expressed your story, like something that you said, pile 2, stuck with them. But it also shows that they're analyzing your words carefully. Like maybe there's a specific phrase you used about your goals or your past experience or your availability that stood out to them, or maybe you came across as articulate and easy to understand. I feel like they appreciate your tone even if you weren't overly confident. It just felt very real and grounded is what I'm hearing. So the next thing I want to do here is I would like to talk about the likely outcome. Let's talk about whether you'll get this job and on what timeline. So we have the High Priestess in reverse here, and this outcome is leading towards delays or confusion or a lack of movement. Like maybe the hiring team may not make a clear decision right away, or miscommunicate internally, or overlook important details, or maybe pause the role or go silent without closure. And so I feel like this is like hidden factors energy. There are things happening behind the scenes that you aren't being shown. So this is not a hard no. This is more of like a not right now. So for example, maybe you find that they forget to update applicants or send decisions out late, or maybe internal scheduling or miscommunication drags this out longer than it should. Or maybe someone who should be giving the final yes or no is distracted and unavailable. We also have Sekhmet protection. So if this doesn't come through, it's protective, pile 2. Something about the role or the environment or the workload or the leadership could maybe not be aligned for a select some of you here, and could not maybe be aligned for your long-term well-being is what I'm hearing. This combination is very like rejection is divine protection energy. So maybe this job has heavier emotional labor than advertised, or maybe the manager could be inconsistent or draining or unclear, and maybe you're being shielded from that, or maybe a better opportunity is coming that relies on timing and this would have blocked it. So overall here, pile 2, I feel like you want stability and belonging, but maybe you're unsure if you'll receive it. I think that you've cleansed old energy and you're showing up more authentic and grounded, and the hiring team is finally paying attention, but slowly. I think that they see you as resilient and thoughtful and sincere, but also maybe somebody who is in a healing phase, and the outcome could be delayed or unclear, or again, gently redirected with strong protection around you. So I'm feeling like the energy here is like, maybe the job may not be the one, but the energy is preparing you for something that is. Now I want to do a couple different ways of divination to get answers. I like to work with like the odds of probability rather than just getting one yes no type of reading, because I don't really like doing yes nos. I think that it, like doing closed question readings, doesn't really leave a lot of room for insights and extra tidbits of information that could be helpful. So we did a full reading here, but I would like to do another method where one of my dear friends, who actually passed away, but her name is Ashley Summer, and she used to do like a method of divination where she would answer yes no questions on TikTok, and she would actually say that, like, okay, if the moon comes up first, the moon card, it's a no, and if the sun card comes up first, then it's a yes. So let's find out. This is our second way of getting our yes no, and then we'll get one more way, and then, you know, you can see what the odds are. Remember though, you have free will. This is just here for information and funsies. So yeah. Okay, we'll pile to get this job, yes or no. We'll pile to get this job, yes or no. We're just gonna flip through and see what we get. Oh, okay, so we got a yes here. Okay, so first answer with the first reading, no. This one says yes, okay? Now we're gonna do one more. So these are angel answers cards. These are very straightforward, like yes, no type of question, yes, no type of cards. Will a pile to get this job, yes or no? Yes, we got 2 yeses. Okay, so do with that what you will, friends. I hope that this was helpful. If you like these types of readings, if you want more job application check-ins or career readings, and check out my channel when you need clarity. And if you feel called, I've got my angel number guide, private readings, online shop, and podcast, all linked free below in the description of this video. I'm deeply honored to be connected with each and every one of you friends here. Lots of love, Title Fam. I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all. Hi, Pile 3. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. So let's first talk about your current energy around this job. Let's talk about what you're feeling, what's happening behind the scenes, and how aligned this opportunity really is. We have strength reversed here, and with this, I am wondering if some of you here are feeling drained or overwhelmed or maybe unsure of yourself. Maybe you want this job, but part of you fears that you're not strong enough or skilled enough or confident enough to pull it off. Maybe some of you here are tired. Maybe you're feeling fatigued. Maybe you are full of self-doubt right now or feeling easily discouraged. And maybe you want opportunity, but also with this sense of relief. So I think that there is a sense of wanting things to get easier and not harder. So for example, maybe you were nervous applying because you weren't sure that you met the qualifications. Or maybe some of you here are burnt out and you don't feel like you're presenting your best self right now. Or maybe you've been doubting your abilities more lately due to personal stress and not actual lack of skill. We also have the Coyote and Datura, deceit. So there's maybe some confusion or mixed signals around this job, either from you or the job posting or the environment, and there could be something about this role that isn't fully transparent. So it doesn't mean danger, but it means that something is unclear or hidden or misleading. So maybe the job description might not match the reality of the role. Like maybe there's more responsibilities that are required that weren't listed on the job. Maybe there's someone involved in the hiring process that may not be giving direct answers, or maybe you're sensing something off, but you can't pinpoint it, which is your intuition warning you. So next, let's talk about what's working in your favor. We'll talk about skills, timing, impressions, or hidden boosts that are helping your chances. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse here, and so even in reverse, this shows that you're teachable and adaptable and willing to grow, which hiring teams appreciate. You have potential, pile 3, even if you don't feel fully prepared, and there's a humble, grounded, I'll learn it energy that makes you relatable. So this could also mean that you didn't oversell yourself and that honesty is working in your favor. Maybe you were realistic about your skills instead of exaggerating experience, or maybe they see you as someone who's open to training rather than being stuck in rigid habits. Or maybe you expressed interest in developing new abilities which they value. We also have Exalted Moon, self-regulation. I feel like your emotional maturity is helping you. You have learned how to stay calm and collected and composed even when you're feeling anxious. And so I feel like this makes you appear stable and dependable. I'm also getting like Taurus energy, if that resonates with any of you here, but I definitely think that people feel safe with your energy. So for example, maybe you answered the questions thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively, or maybe your tone in emails or interviews showed emotional steadiness, or maybe you handled pressure without showing flustered, chaotic energy. Next, I want to talk about what's delaying or blocking the process. Let's talk about any sort of internal doubts or external obstacles that the hiring team could be working through. We'll find out. We have the 8 of Cups here, and maybe someone connected to the hiring decision is walking away from something like a role or a team or old expectations or even the company. There's transition energy happening behind the scenes that's affecting this process. But this could also mean that the team is reevaluating what they really want in a candidate or whether they even want to continue filling this position. So, for example, maybe a supervisor might be resigning or reassigning or delaying the hiring decisions. Or maybe the team may be rethinking the responsibilities of this role entirely. Or maybe somebody key to the final decision isn't fully invested in hiring right now. We also have Dog Spirit, be loyal to what you love. So I feel like the company wants long-term commitment and reliability and consistency, and I think that they're extremely cautious about choosing somebody who fits that. And so this might be slowing the process down. On your end, maybe you're being guided toward opportunities that match your long-term values, not temporary survival moves. Maybe they're prioritizing a candidate who seems deeply committed, but not just looking for a paycheck. Or maybe they're moving slowly because they want a perfect team fit. I can also see that like maybe some of you here secretly want a job that aligns more with your passions, which is causing this like subtle internal hesitation. I don't know if any of you here have ever felt like duplicity, like in wanting something, it's like you do want it, but then like part of you doesn't. So it's just like, it's like tough to reconcile with. But Next, I want to talk about how the hiring team sees you. Let's talk about their impression, their concerns, any excitement, and where you currently stand. We have Justice here, and with this, I feel like they see you as somebody who is fair, honest, balanced, and somebody who definitely plays by the rules. You came off as ethical and trustworthy and responsible, and there's a strong sense that you'd make decisions with integrity. They also see you as someone who deserves a fair chance. So maybe your communication came across as straightforward and transparent, or maybe you presented your experience clearly without exaggeration. Maybe they appreciate your professionalism and they think that you'd be good for the workplace in terms of harmony and everybody getting along. We also have the artist, Venus, and it says, I create my vision. So pile 3, you are naturally creative, a visionary, imaginative, idealistic, connective, harmonious, passionate, receptive, reverent, and spiritual. So pile 3, I feel like you have this creative streak, whether this is visually or verbally or in problem solving, and the hiring team actually noticed it. So they see you as someone who brings originality or fresh ideas or aesthetic awareness. And this is a huge asset for roles involving creativity and planning or communication or design. So maybe something in your portfolio or resume or interview answers showed creative thinking. Or maybe you showed a unique perspective when answering scenario-based questions. Or maybe they see you as someone who would add color or innovation to the team. Next, I want to talk about the likely outcome. Let's talk about whether you'll get this job and on what timeline. We have the 3 of Wands in reverse here. And so this outcome shows delays or maybe plans not moving forward or the opportunity not arriving in the way that you expected. So there could be a stall or a pullback, or maybe the hiring team changes directions in some way. So this could mean a couple different things for some of you. Maybe for some of you here, you don't receive an offer just yet. Or maybe for some of you here, the job becomes unavailable or postponed. Or maybe they go with someone else, but they keep you in mind. And so I want you to remember here that it's not a failure. It could be misalignment or timing issues or a change in company direction. Like maybe they unexpectedly pause or cancel the role due to budgeting issues, or maybe they choose a candidate with different availability or specialized experience, or maybe some like weird internal changes stop your application from progressing at the moment. We also have Litha, vitality. So even if this door doesn't open, just know that your energy is rising. This is a summer solstice card, so this means that your momentum is building, pile 3, and your clarity is strengthening. And just know that a more aligned opportunity is coming soon. And so this is a redirection towards something that energizes you and not drains you. I feel like your confidence and your life force are about to return. Maybe you receive another job lead shortly after this one stalls. Or maybe you gain clarity and you stop pursuing roles that drain your spirit. Or maybe a new opportunity arrives that feels brighter and cleaner and more affirming. So overall here, pile 3, I feel like you maybe are feeling tired and doubtful and energetically depleted regarding this job. Maybe there's something unclear or not fully honest about the role or the process. I feel like you are emotionally mature, you're open to learning, and you handle pressure really well. And I feel like the company is definitely going through some sort of internal changes or reevaluating this position. They definitely see you as somebody who is ethical and creative and balanced. The outcome here shows like a delay or a stall or some sort of gentle redirection, not a failure. So with this, I think that a more aligned, energizing opportunity is coming next. However, this is just one form of divination. This is just one way to get our yes or no answer. But I said in the other piles, I don't really like to do yes or no question readings because the issue with closed readings is that it doesn't really leave a lot of extra room for insights or answers or the why or the redirection into the better possibility for you. So I want to do this form, right? So this was kind of like a no or delay or doubtful. I do have another friend who would do yes no readings on social media, but the way that she would do it, her name is Ashley Summer, and she is a friend of mine who is in heaven, and she would do yes no tarot readings. And basically if the sun card comes out first, it's a yes, and if the moon card comes out first, it's a no. So let's I like to work with the odds of probability. We'll ask the question one way, second way, and then I've got another way, and then you can see all the insights and answers that come that way. So will pile 3 get this job? Will pile 3 get the job? Will they get the job? Okay. So if the sun comes out first, it's a yes. If the moon comes out first, it's a no. Okay, so we got a no here. Okay, so first way that we read it, no. Second way that we read it, no. And then we'll do it one more way. So we've got some angel answers cards here, and these are like some pretty straightforward yes or no cards as well. So we'll pile 3, oops, get the job. Well, that was a flyer too, so this one says no. So it was like no, 3 for 3 in all the different ways that we read. However, you have free will. Know that you have the power and the, you know, the the choice to change things for yourself. So I do hope that this reading was helpful. Just know that, again, this isn't rejection, it's redirection. There's probably something better out there for you. And yeah, thank you so much, friends. If this helped, let me know which pile you chose. And if you want more job application check-ins or career readings, remember to like, subscribe, and save this for when you need clarity. If you feel called, I've got my angel number guide, private readings, online shop, and podcast all linked for you below in the description of this video. I'm deeply honored to be connected with each and every one of you friends here. Lots of love, Title Fam. I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all. Hi, pile 4. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. Let's get your current energy around this job. We'll get what you're feeling, what's happening behind the scenes, and how aligned this opportunity really is. We have the 5 of Swords, and so I'm wondering if some of you here are mentally exhausted or feeling a little defensive, or maybe even bracing for disappointment. Maybe you feel like you're competing against stronger candidates, or you're worrying that someone will win at your expense. So maybe some of you here are second guessing yourselves, or maybe you are feeling like you're stuck in self-comparison, or maybe there's this fear that the hiring process could be unfair to you in some way. It could also talk about you preparing yourself emotionally just in case, as a form of self-protection. So for example, maybe you keep replaying things that you said or you did and wondering if you like mess something up, or maybe you're assuming the worst to avoid getting your hopes up. Or maybe you're hyper aware of the competition and you're feeling like you need to prove yourself harder than others. We also have the raccoon and sycamore, curiosity. So despite the stress, pile 4, I feel like you're genuinely curious about the job. Part of you is excited, you want to explore possibilities, and maybe you're trying to imagine what working there would actually be like. This is a very mentally stimulating opportunity, and you can feel that. So behind the scenes, I feel like this curiosity is keeping your energy open rather than closed. Maybe you've looked up the company culture or team photos, or you've browsed the website because something about it feels interesting. Or maybe you are excited by new systems or tasks or skills that this job would involve. Or maybe you're already imagining how you might fit into their workflow or environment. Now, next I want to talk about what's working in your favor. We'll talk about skills, timing, impressions, or hidden boosts that are helping your chances. We have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse here. I feel like you're not overworking yourself or obsessing or nitpicking details. I feel like you're showing up authentically and you're not pretending to be perfect. And so I feel like this is refreshing to the hiring team compared to, other candidates who try too hard. Maybe you have experience even though you haven't packaged it traditionally. Or maybe you didn't oversell yourself or exaggerate and you kept things real. Or your past skills are more transferable than you realize and they noticed. Or maybe you come across as someone who can learn quickly without micromanagement. We also have out of bounds moon, boundaries. So something about you says, I'm done letting jobs drain me. I want healthier boundaries. That word has actually been coming up a lot in my mind today, so I'm not surprised that we're talking about boundaries today. I feel like the energy is actually working in your favor. You're not desperate, you're selective, pile 4. The hiring team can sense this maturity and emotional intelligence. Maybe you communicated your availability or your needs clearly, or maybe you didn't let them push you into an uncomfortable answer or expectation. I feel like you carry this calm but firm energy that says that you value your well-being. Let's talk about what's delaying or blocking the process. Let's talk about whether there's any sort of internal doubts or external obstacles that the hiring team is working through. We'll find out. We have the 5 of Wands here, and so there's definitely some internal conflict happening within the company. Maybe it's debates or disagreements or mixed opinions or competing priorities. I feel like the team is not aligned. Like everyone has a different idea of the ideal candidate, and maybe this is causing delays or confusion or inconsistent communication. Maybe one manager wants experience and another wants a personality fit, or maybe a department is arguing over who gets hiring authority. Maybe they're overwhelmed with multiple priorities and they keep shifting focus. We also have whale spirit, trust the great mystery. So you're not being shown the whole picture, and maybe you're not meant to be yet. Something is evolving behind the scenes, pile 4. Maybe the delay has nothing to do with you, but it's about timing and internal decisions that aren't stable. So maybe you don't see the wave forming yet, but it's happening. Or maybe the company is restructuring roles, or maybe they might be waiting on, again, like a budget approval. Maybe somebody's decision or influence is shifting the direction of hiring. And I feel like in terms of how the hiring team sees you, like in terms of their impressions, concerns, excitement, and where you stand currently, we have the Empress in reverse here. And so they see your potential, but they also sense that you're not operating at your full power now. Like maybe you appear drained or undervalued in your current environment, or maybe not fully confident in your gifts. Maybe they see someone who needs more support than you're currently receiving in life or work. However, they do see your beauty and your creativity and your empathy and your warmth beneath the surface. Maybe you came across as capable, but maybe a little tired, maybe somebody who's been carrying too much alone. Or maybe they sense that you're very talented, but you're not being supported or recognized where you are. Or maybe they feel like you have more to offer than you communicated because maybe you feel like you're holding back in some way. We also have the Advocate, Saturn, and it says, I align with the greater good for all. And so pile 4, I think that you are a natural humanitarian, resourceful, integrous, idealistic, resilient, outspoken, opinionated, rebellious, a champion, democratic, passionate, driven, and devoted. So I feel like they perceive you as someone who genuinely cares about fairness and teamwork and doing the right thing, not someone who's chasing ego or status. I think that you come across as grounded and ethical and thoughtful and focused on contributing in a meaningful way. Maybe some of you here expressed interest in collaboration or community rather than just personal gain. Or maybe they see you as someone who would be supportive and not competitive. I feel like your tone shows that you're mature and responsible and trustworthy, pile 4. Next, I want to talk about the likely outcome. Let's talk about whether you'll get the job and on what timeline. So we have the 3 of Pentacles in reverse here. And so, gosh, I feel like I'm like repeating myself throughout all the patterns, throughout all the piles. But yeah, this represents like some sort of delay, or maybe like a role that doesn't materialize, or like a mismatch in team alignment. And so when the card is in reverse here, it represents teamwork instability. Like maybe the company may not have the structure, the communication, or the agreement needed to move forward with hiring confidently. So I feel like it's not about you, it's about their internal foundation. So maybe for some of you here, they go silent because they still can't agree on direction. Or maybe they choose someone internally, or they pause the role entirely. Or maybe the team feels disorganized and not ready to onboard new people. We also have Sol. And so although this specific job may not come through, you're being welcomed into a new chapter, and a better opportunity with healthier leadership and clearer teamwork is on the horizon. Pile 4, your energy is shifting. You are stepping into a warm, supportive, aligned space. And so this job is not the doorway, but it's leading you to the right one. So maybe you receive an offer elsewhere shortly after this process fizzles. Or maybe you stumble into an opportunity through a friend or a connection or a random lead. Or maybe you realize that this job wasn't a match and you feel relieved when the next one clicks perfectly. So overall here, pile 4, I feel like, again, you're feeling probably stressed, defensive, and maybe bracing for disappointment, but you're still curious. Your authenticity and your boundaries are working in your favor, and any sort of delays are probably stemming from internal conflict within the company and not you. I do think that they see your value and they sense that you're being under-supported, or maybe you're tired. So maybe the likely outcome here is that it's not this job, but you're being guided toward a more aligned opportunity where you are welcomed and you are supported. And I just know that a new, warmer beginning is coming for you. Now, we did one yes or no way of reading right now. And I mentioned in the other piles, I don't really like to do yes/no readings, because the issue with doing like closed question readings is that you don't really leave room for extra insights and explanations and the why behind things and the other opportunities that are available. So I want to divine in two more ways. I want to divine in two other different ways, and then I want to try dividing into other different ways, and then I like to work with like the odds of probability, right? So it's kind of like rolling the dice 3 times and seeing what you get. I have a friend, and her name is Ashley Summer, and she passed away this year, so rest in love, Ashley. She's also a tarot reader, and she was amazing at what she did, but she used to do these yes/no question readings. And she used to shuffle the cards, and if you get the sun first, the sun card in the tarot, it's a yes, and if you get the moon card, it's a no. So we'll try to get a yes/no from here, and then we'll get it one more way, and then we'll see what the odds are, okay? So we'll pile, sorry, I saw the sun, so I was like, oh, but this is the lovers. We'll pile for get the job. Okay, so we got a no. Route number 1, no. Route number 2, no. And then we're gonna get one more. So these are angel answer cards, and these are pretty straightforward yes or no cards. So we will find out. Let's see. We'll pile for get this job, yes or no. Pile for get this job. So we got a yes. So maybe for like, if you think, I think there's one more pile that was very similar to this. So if you think of like a pizza pie cut into thirds, I'm assuming that maybe like 2/3 of you, the answer is no. And then for like 1/3 of you, the answer is yes. So yes, do with that what you will. Friends, thank you so much. I hope that this helped. If you want more job application check-ins or career readings, remember to like, subscribe, and save this for when you need clarity. If you feel called, I've got my angel number guide, private readings, online shop, and podcast all linked for you in the description of this video. I'm deeply honored to be connected with each and every one of you friends here. Lots of love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all.